Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
Okay, here's another simple but effective little chronomate or buzzer pattern. So I like to have a good selection of colors as well as bead heads and non-bead heads. So this one is not a bead head, and I'm going to tie it similar to how we tie the other ones, where you just have a little bit of a breather in the front. Okay, we're going to grab our McFlylon parallel to the hook shank. Couple of wraps there. That kind of secures it. And then you can pull it perpendicular and start your figure 8 wraps. Then what I like to do is pull them forward, and then you can just throw in some wraps behind the material there, and it helps prop them forward and up like so. And I like to come in and just trim these first thing, a couple eye lengths. And then we'll work our way down to around the bend. About right there. Okay, now the body's going to consist of a couple of materials here. Okay, the first thing is some Uniflex. This is gray. And so this is a great material because it's really stretchy and you can taper it. So for the smaller sizes, you'll want to stretch this a little bit more than you will for a bigger size, which also means that when you stretch it, it becomes a little bit more see-through, which is fine. And then the other material is going to be some holographic tinsel in small. This is cranberry. So I'm going to tie the Uniflex in first. And what I do is I've actually cut a little tiny bit of a point on there. And so I'm going to tie this in really closely, as close to that point as I can. But I need it to hold tight, so I don't want to have it slipping out. So what I'll do is I'll give a wrap, and then I'll hold tight with my thread and then pull back, and then go down towards the point of the hook, one more wrap. And then if I need to, I can get in here and trim that excess. And now I'll tie in the cranberry hollow tinsel. And then again, we want to taper this, so I'm going to go up to the thorax area, behind the breathers, and then just down about 3/4 of the way, back up. Down halfway, back up, and 1/4 way. You get the picture. Okay, so we're just going to grab the tinsel and wrap that. 4 or 5 segments will do it. Okay, now with this Uniflex, what we'll do is we'll pull it really tight to begin with, and then just gently loosen it as we go up. If you look at Davey McPhail's video, he does this way better than I do. But this is nonetheless an awesome pattern. So I'm pulling it tight, leaving a little bit of space. As I go up, loosening it a little bit. Get closer, loosen a little more. And then we're at thorax area. Now we're going to do a couple wraps in front, and that kind of locks it in. That way we can pull this up, stretch it, trim that right off. If you don't put those 2 wraps in front, sometimes you'll get that Uniflex sucking back in there and popping the whole thing out. Okay, and like I've done on most of my other Chironomids, keep it the same materials mostly. Again, you can use biots here, but this is going to be some medium orange hollow tinsel. And what I'll do is I'll just fold that over the thread, then pull that right up underneath behind those breathers. A couple of wraps, flip it over, and now you just fold it back against the body, split the hook, one on each side, grab it with your other hand, and then we can go wrap over that tinsel, and that keeps it anchored down. Okay, now this one I'm not going to put any flashback on. It's we'll just use our little wing buds here. So grab either one, the far one or the near one. You want to pull it up at an angle like that, and then just come over the top, right behind the breather there. Tie that off. Do the same thing on the near side. Okay, now you can pull back both of those pieces of tinsel and preen those Flylon fibers out of the way. A couple of twists there, and we'll trim off the tag ends. You want to go in front of those so that you don't trim them and have them pop out on you. And then we just whip finish. Okay, we're going to grab fluorescing UV clear fly finish. Before we do that, we want to tilt the fly so that none of the resin seeps, or as little as possible seeps into the breathers. And you can apply this, use your bodkin to move it around if you need to, but just coat it a little bit more in the thorax, of course. Then you can give, if you need to, give that thorax a little bit more. Kind of make it stand out a little bit. And there we go. So I usually fish this with a, depending on how I am, with an indicator, but I'll fish it with a Chironomid that's weighted with a bead. So I can get the benefit of the weight getting down, but this is a smaller one. and unweighted. So if I need to fish this alone in maybe some shallower water or just below the surface, then this is great for that.